Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The 5-minute face check returns again with Trabe of Arrogant Nephalem. My name is Valcomer, and let's dive right in. Trabe, tell me a little bit about your C West Finals match.
Our C West Finals, we went in with a plan. There were a couple shaky moments along the way, but the plan luckily worked out for us. We knew what we wanted to do. We knew what their drafts were likely going to be. So we were able to pick some maps we wanted, sort of tailor our approach to beating some of their comfort picks. And luckily we were able to go out and get to a couple wins early and sort of ride that momentum through.
Now, I know Wood tapped that they favor having first pick, so did you kind of plan that as part of your draft strategy?
We sort of had a similar game plan either way. We weren't totally sure what they were going to prioritize first and second pick, but we were able to find a couple heroes that we were pretty sure they weren't going to be contesting too heavily, that we thought were going to counter what they were likely to do. And so we figured, let's take some maps that maybe they haven't played on so much, let's get a plan in and see if we can get some execution there.
Now, there was leaked a rather fuzzy photo of an absolute flowchart, including panic bubbles and ban this now, take this then. How much did that affect the draft, or was that the certain leaking person shaming the team for not following it?
It was a helpful thought process to create the flowchart. I will give Kime credit for that. But every single game, we made it about one pick in, and then said, what's the flowchart say? And immediately overruled it and went with something else. But we sort of got to the same place in the end. So I think it was a valuable thought exercise.
Kime, if you're listening, I hate when my team does it too. So, well, looking forward now rather than back, you're going up against Please Clap. They had a fantastic run as the first seed in Division C East. They are pounding away. This is, I think, their third season together, and they're having a heyday. How are you combating that?
Well, they're a little tougher to plan for specifically than Woodtap that I think. Woodtap that we sort of knew, here's what the match is going to look like, here's what the teams are going to look like. We just have to actually go out there and play to the level that we know we can play at. Please Clap is kind of all over the place. They've got, I'm blanking on the name, but they've got one player that just has played about 30 different heroes this season. It's kind of hard to pin down exactly what they're going to go in for. A little harder to come in with a plan.
And they do play a lot of flexibility throughout their hero pools on the whole team. You'll have someone who's healing one game, tank the next type of thing. It's not a truly set team in that way.
Yeah, I think we're just going to have to kind of go out, and since we haven't played them before, it's harder to plan in that direction as well. You just kind of got to go out and be flexible and say, if we don't know what you're doing, we're going to come in with a plan. We know what we want. We know the heroes we like, and we're just going to try to, we're going to go out there and play our best. We've got a couple surprises planned, a couple things that we'd hoped to get to earlier in the season that we're sort of figured we might as well bust out if it's the last game. I think it'll be a fun series, if nothing else.
So there may be some well-aged cheese brought to perfection coming out, is what you're saying.
Well, the problem with calling it cheese is that cheese would be like, this comp is effective on this map in a way they won't expect. We're going with more, hey, I wanted to play this hero and you guys wouldn't let me all season, so now I'm gonna in the grand finals.
Yes, main tank Uther
I don't know.
lives, is that what I'm hearing?
Who can say?
Just, I feel for you, Sigatai. I do. Someday. So.
Hopefully not today, but someday I think he may get his wish.
So we've got some power picks. It sounds like we've got a plan, and it is making sure you're the one playing the tune and they're dancing to your beat. It sounds like.
That's what we're hoping. They're a good team for sure, so it's gonna be tricky, but we're feeling pretty confident. We're feeling pretty good about how the season has gone, and I think we're gonna go out there and hope that we can end the season on a win.
I think it's going to be a fantastic grand finals. I am excited for it as it is my division. I hope that it goes all 5 games, even though I've had conversations saying that I'm Satan for thinking that. But it'll be exciting. So I'm ready to watch.
Excitement is the key word for Div C, I think, this season so far. And we can't let that brand name down. Got to bring some excitement to the table for our last round.
Well, Trabe, thanks for being here. This has been the 5-minute face check. Enjoy the match. Welcome everybody out to the 5-minute face check. My name is Valcomer. I am here with Lothair of Please Clap, your Division C East champions. We're going into the grand finals here in just a moment, and Lothair was nice enough to join me for this quick little interview. Lothair, thanks for being here.
Good to be here, Val.
Now, last season that I played against you guys, you weren't the captain, but this season you transitioned into that role for Please Clap. You guys have been dominant this season. I don't know that the captain transition necessarily changed that, but we'll give you that gold star. It's yours. But how have you guys felt that you've progressed this season as a team? Because, again, extremely dominant performance.
So, one of the things that we noticed we were struggling on last seasons was really having everybody be on the same page with certain choices. So what we decided to do was we decided to have a greater delegation of roles. So how that started last season was I would be the person who was always calling out, hey, mercenary camps are up. And that led to later on being, okay, I'm going to be the one who's shot calling and saying, okay, we need to engage now, we need to get on point, those kinds of things. While other people might be responsible for drafting, other people might be responsible for team research, others might be responsible for seeing how objectives going to turn out, those kinds of things.
Nice. So you're the macro shot caller on the team. I know you tend to play assassin players. Are you also calling out in mid fights? You know, Tyrande, or for example.
Occasionally I'll go for focus, but for the most part, when it comes to snap picking fights, that's going to be Lysandra, who's primarily our tank player, or Golden, who's our bruiser.
Got it. You guys have had, again, just a powerful season. I think the only match that I saw you lose, you were memeing a little bit, 4 supports and hammer. It didn't affect playoff placement, and you were playing with some of your old friends with Deep Fried Ragaros. And so both teams were a little bit goofy in that match. So do you feel that Please Clap is pretty relaxed coming into the finals? This is a pretty intense stage. How are you feeling?
I feel like we're prepared and we're excited to try to win it.
Nice.
It's our second time being at the total finals in our Please Clap career. So it's not going to be as anxious as the first time, but we're certainly hoping we can go there.
I believe you won Heroes Lounge Season 2 Division 3. Was that right?
We haven't won any entire bracket.
Oh, you were in the finals.
We got to the finals in the first one, and then in our second season, we got 3rd place.
Got it. Well, I watched as much as I could of the Coastal Finals. I think I missed Game 2, but caught Game 1, 3, and 4. But just some very dramatic games.
Oh, yeah.
Game 1 was the only one that Die for Vision was able to take from you. But even that one, it was that miracle play by Dahaka digging bottom while you're fighting over the boss. I mean, sure, everything leads up to that, but it was on the edge of a knife to where you could have wiped them and then had control of the map, and he got away for that dig. And then I heard Game 2, you just absolutely took him to task and flipped the script, if you will, and then kept that momentum going into Game 3 and Game 4. How exciting was that to come out of that?
That was really exhilarating, especially since I believe Game 3, if Game 3 is the all-track one, that one absolutely had us on the edge of our seats.
That one had so many core defenses, it was crazy.
Yeah, down to the nail.
And then game 4, I think, was, from what I saw, your absolutely most dominant one. There was no question that you were going to take game 4. Again, game 3, there was that rocky, they core defended, you core defended, back and forth for what seemed like it was going to become a level 30 Alterac. But
that was a long game.
As you've been watching Arrogant Nephalem, how are you going to make sure you capitalize on your wins and accentuate their mistakes?
So, among other things, what we've learned at the end of this season and during the playoffs is we've been trying not to get into our own heads as much. We need to make sure that we still stick with our comfort picks and not overdraft ourselves into a corner where we say, okay, this is the best character for the situation, but it might not be the best character for us as a team.
Got it.
And not draft ourselves into a corner.
Well, Lothair, I wish you well. We have hit our 5-minute deadline, so good luck in the grand finals of Division C. You got a fantastic team, and we look forward to the match.
All right, thank you, Val. See you then.
Thank you.
Hello everybody! How's everybody doing today? We are just waiting on 1 for Arrogant Nephalem and 2 for Please Clap, but I figured no point having you guys just sit here listening to some music when we can be talking and kind of introducing you to the teams.
Hello everybody, I am Munkus.
And I am Shadonis. We are going to be your casters for today. I was about to not introduce myself, but then I remembered I'm not on my own Twitch channel today. So, yeah, I do need to introduce myself. But, yeah, welcome. I will try and interact with the chat the best I can, but both fortunately and unfortunately, we have a CoCaster today, which is going to make that a little bit more difficult, but also a lot more fun for you guys to watch.
Howdy everybody, I'm Munkus, the CoCaster for this evening. Team captain of Beast Coast, sister team to Arrogant Nephalem, and friend to Please Clap.
I'm only really familiar with Arrogant Nephalem, so I can only speak a little bit on my experience playing with them. So it is very handy to have someone who is a friend of the other team, as that just gives us a little bit more information to work with. So, Please Clap did take us to this map. I'm curious if there's any reason why you might think that that's the case. I know we talked about this a little bit beforehand, but, you know, want to make sure the stream understands.
Well, I've talked with Hydra a little bit about their strategy and their preparation for this and what they're going to, how they're going to approach these games. And essentially, they have no strategy, and the way that they're approaching it is like a seat of the pants. So,
from what I understand, that's how they've run the series so far.
It is. In fact, I have a little insight into Arrogant Nephalem's prep. They were very perplexed by the hero pools and choices of Please Clap. So the strategy of happenstance and randomness is playing out to in their favor, at least at the start.
Travis and Luther. So that's alright. Cool. Yeah.
And both teams are here.
Both are. Want to just double check? It's noted. Thanks. Alright, cool. But yeah, both teams are definitely experienced, and they definitely scouted each other.
Right now,
What's up?
only 3 people on each team have proper avatar synergy.
How dare they? That's not okay.
No, it's not. We got 3 Carbots on one side and 3 4s on the other. We gotta fix that.
That they do. They're saying that I need to boost your gain again, so I'm going to do that quick. Give me a second. Doesn't seem like they're fully ready anyway, so I'm going to do that while we wait for them. Let's raise you. I don't know. Looks like that much.
But since
There we go.
Please Clap, their drafting strategy has been eccentric to say the least. It'll be hard to predict what they're going to go with today. But I can say that for Arrogant Nephalem, they're going to probably prioritize picking up Deathwing, and then for their tanks, probably Varian or Johanna.
Yeah, that's my experience with them. With having a team that, from what I understand, there's one player who's played every character in their role and then some. So it's definitely going to be interesting, at least on one side, if not formulaic on the other. That's the word I was looking for. All right.
We have Order versus Chaos. And on the side of Order are the Arrogant Nephalem, and on the side of the Chaos are the Please Clappers.
Something's partially fitting and partially not fitting about that, but either way, let's get into the more interesting aspect, as both teams are now ready. So let's get into the draft. So, welcome to Valskaya! On our left side, we have Arrogant Nephalem, the number 2 seed of the Div C West. And on the right, we have Please Clap, the number 1 seed for Div East. Div C East, specifically. If you're wondering how... if you're wondering how we got here, let me go ahead and show you. So, Arrogant Nephalem did win the coin flip, leading to them deciding that they want first pick. Please Clap then decided to ban out both Braxis and Sky Temple. Arrogant Nephalem banned out Cursed Hollow and Alterac Pass in response. Please Clap then decided to take us to Valskaya for game number 1 in our best of 5 series. Yeah, with the built-in slow. Yeah, I'm curious if we do see a Deathwing ban. Does look like we see the Ana ban, trying to deny that increased spell power. For sure. There's the Deathwing ban. Looks like Johanna, yeah, I was gonna say. I'm guessing Joe is their higher priority. They really don't like losing the control of her, as she is a really solid tank, and they don't really use ETC. Now, I'm curious about the Mal'Ganis Hanzo. Usually with Mal'Ganis, you really want to try and work with a team that holds people in place for a very long time. And Hanzo's damage, I mean, granted he can ult onto a Mal'Ganis sleep, which is always killer, but right there, I don't think that's a really solid follow-up for them. Like, I'm not sure about it. They might pull out something that I'm not seeing. Who knows? Yeah, that too. Yeah. I guess. I don't know. We might say something. Something to follow up with the sleep more specifically, and Hanzo just tries to get them all low. However, you were right about the KT and Anduin. And with the Malthael ban, I'm guessing they're going to go for their standard composition of just trying to hold everyone in place while Kel'Thas blows them all up. So probably a Maiev. Oh, yeah, I'm not... Yeah. Oh, crap. There we go. Sorry, guys. I thought I added that. Duh. Sorry, they could not hear you during the draft. That was on me.
Well, I'm not repeating all the insights of that.
Yeah, no, I get you. Yeah, I'm also
there's the New York Maiev.
Yeah, that's kind of what I expected, but on the right, they're very reliant on these walls, and there's none for point A. I mean, granted, point B there's plenty, but even then, the conveyors allow people to get out of crappy situations that you try and abuse with the walls.
Well, I think
I don't know.
I think he might be going for Q build here. Just it's so hard for W build. And very much like I was saying to start out with Order versus Chaos. This is a very predictable draft from Arrogant Nephalem. I kind of had an idea about this whole thing. I predicted 4 of them, and I didn't have a chance to guess what Null Pointer was picking. But as for Please Clap, I would not have in a million years predicted their draft.
Yeah, no, this is not what I expected, especially on this map. And keep in mind, they chose to take us here.
And well, like I said, they fly by the seat of their pants. This is possibly a draft that they came up with during the draft. The irrelevance of Leoric is probably the biggest issue, just as far as, you know, who wins the draft thing. It would be the irrelevance of Leoric, because I mean they should know that Kime plays Leoric, and Yrel is very bad into him. But also the thing about that is that it's Volskaya. The offlane does not matter a whole bunch for the one-on-one.
The other thing that I'm looking at is the Ahri into KT. I mean, I know Ahri's very strong, but she needs everyone to be grouped, and this team is going to punish that time and time again. So it's going to be interesting to see how they react to that.
It's also you have a more engaged comp versus a more poke comp. Please Clap is definitely the pokey comp here.
Alright, well, I'm gonna pull stuff up. Which team would you like to introduce?
I guess I'll go with Arrogant Nephalem. We have No Pointer on Anduin, Segatai on Johanna, Trave on Kel'Thas, Kilden on Maiev, and Kime on the Orc.
Meanwhile, for the right team, please clap, we have Lazy Hydra on Junkrat, Lazando on Mal'Ganis, Lothor, he's moving, but Lothor on Hanzo, Golden on Yrel, and Wolf on Ariel, riding a wolf, ironically enough.
Mega Muffin has pointed out something in the chat. Mal'Ganis, Junkrat is pretty degenerate with the sleep into the concussion mine.
Oh, I didn't think about that, yeah.
And traps. Yeah, again, that's a very high burden of execution. And I'm going to just take a look at the talents. We do have the Q build from Hanzo, the trap build from Junkrat. Other notable things are Fealty unto Death, which is something that we don't see a lot on this map, I don't think, from Leor. But I know Maya, or Nikilda, likes that, the physical build, and that is what she is elected to go for here. For Maya, it's very strong right now, and especially on this map. And one thing that I have always said to people is that you have to play the physical build differently than you play the other two builds. You have to play it in a very specific way, and Nikilda does play it in that way.
Now, one thing
people fall into the trap of physical build Maya and poking. You can't do that.
Yeah, one thing I do want to quickly mention is look at these camp speeds. The right team, I did notice this in the draft, unless they build for it, they're going to have a hard time keeping up with camp pressure, which is something Arrogant Nephalem exceeds with, especially with this comp. They have plenty of camp clear, as well as plenty of wave clear.
Only until level 7. No, level 4. Then that's when Hanzo will pick up explosive arrows, and it will drastically increase his clear power.
Fair. Yeah, I'm very curious.
Junkrat clears at a pretty good clip.
I guess later on, yeah. Okay, maybe it's a later game thing. I was looking at that speed, and Arrogant Nephalem took like 2 seconds to clear the camp to Please Clap's like 3. Now we do see Arrogant Nephalem positioning for this heal camp. Their healer, Null Point, flying very aggressively. Does look like we're going to get a bit of a fight going here. Junkrat can get in a good position. This is absolutely a red Biotic emitter, especially with Johanna getting very low. I think she already popped her Iron Skin. Pull does go out to save her life, but the red team does get the Biotic emitter. But it doesn't look like anyone goes down. I spoke too soon as Hanzo gets blown up by a living bomb, but Johanna trades out.
The more important thing here is that Arrogant Nephalem lost the camp and used their turret. Yeah, I was going to say that the Arrogant Nephalem has better point control, but only if the enemy team clumps around the point. With the poke that Please Clap has, they don't have to get onto that point, and Junkrat was able to knock everybody but Johanna off, so Johanna was taking all the damage from Hanzo and Junkrat.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely going to make things more and more awkward as the first point at least progresses, because, yeah, like you said, this is a full engage versus a poke. And Anduin can keep up a little bit with poke, but not too much till, I want to say 13.
And Yrel here works well for this poke comp because she's a beefy front line that can disengage a dive on her team, and her team doesn't really care about the positioning of the enemies that much, except for wanting them to be away. That's a dive onto Maya. The pull comes out, down goes Leor.
Indeed, big stun from the Kel'Thas to try and get the friendly team out, and it does look like it's enough. Definitely not enough to do anything more than disengage, but that's really all they wanted.
Well, right now, this is going really well for Please Clap. They have a full health camp pushing top. They have
very true.
2 going on 3 Merc camps. They have control over the point. This is just...
Don't remember how to see carried items. I'm trying to keep track of how many items they have carried, but I don't know how to see that easily. Yeah, it just looks like 3.
I'm just looking at their names.
Fair. Does look like Arrogant Nephalem is going to try and get back on this point with 95% in favor of the right team. They really need a kill here, though, if they have any hope of getting the objective, as they have no hope of dealing with this hope.
We have a disconnect by the Hanzo, and...
No pause coming out yet.
Goodness. No pause.
There's the pause. And so let's take a quick break and talk about what we've been seeing so far. It does look like the fights, at least in the early game, are going in favor of Please Clap, but I honestly expect 10s to really change this game, as Arrogant Nephalem, as usual, is built for 10s for the most part.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, is that Arrogant Nephalem's comp will come online at 10, yes, because of the cage and the America Shield. But on the other side, you have Hanzo Arrow and Junkrat Tire.
Very true. And with the lockdown of Mal'Ganis. Yeah, with the lockdown of Mal'Ganis, that's gonna be one painful combo. It's really gonna be a game of Rocket Tag, I think. First one to pull out their combo wins the fight type deal.
I don't know, because if Maiev can jump in, and if Please Clap has the right tools available to them, if the right people stay out of the cage, they can shut her down and keep her from really popping off. I think it's going to come down to execution. Which team can position themselves better.
Things are definitely going to change hardcore once we get to 10. Because, yeah, now that you mention it, both teams are actually built for 10. So, yeah.
And it'll be interesting to see whether or not Ariel goes Resurrect or goes the Crystal Aegis to counter that heavy dive.
I'm guessing...
If you'll give me 1 second, I need to grab water.
No problem. Yeah, I'm guessing personally that she's going to go Aegis, again to try and deal with the dive, and just save one target. Even if KT goes Phoenix like he normally does, I think it'll still get a whole lot of value, as they're going to be focusing on killing one person at a time and then using that to kill everybody else. Shouldn't Marcus's avatar be a beaver? This is the avatar he sent me. According to him, it's because he wanted to be more professional for the grand finals. But, yes. I'm pretty sure he does use a beaver picture for the most part.
My apologies. I had poured a huge water for me for the grand finals.
All good.
And I forgot to bring it into my room.
Well done.
Yeah. So A+ for effort, I guess.
It looks like both teams are R, so let's get back into the in-game. Actually, only one team said R.
Yeah. I was about to say.
Yeah, I expected the R from Arrogant Nephalem to come out in just a second, but maybe not. Alright, cool. All right. So let's get back. I will give a countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I lost track of where my pause button is. I will find that later.
And that's disengage and second tight. Barely goes down. I thought he was going to be able to get away there.
Same here, and it almost looked like a double kill was going to come out. That would have been very terrible, as that's 15 seconds of a full health Triggerlock Protector to get whatever they so wish.
Oh, interesting. For Junkrat, we have Chattering Teeth and Dirty Trickster instead of the silence on the traps. That makes it easier to land people onto the traps, but
a lot less value from
silence would be, if you could get Maya silence, then she is very easy to deal with.
Yeah, for sure. Any diver like that, silence is just deadly.
It looks like they're going to get that well, and this protector is super low, so I doubt they're going to really get anything more with that.
They don't really need to, though. It does look like they got the full front wall mid, front wall top, and fountain. So at this point, they can just try and drown out the clock, trying to deny camps and XP for the opponent, and just
they
unnecessary
went really
damage.
deep there, and I don't
Yeah,
know
Light Bomb
why.
going straight into the cage, a Riptire trying to counteract it, ults just coming out left, right, and center, no one falling though, just a whole lot of damage just getting healed straight back up, one after another.
Yeah, that was almost every ult used by Arrogant Nephalem, and almost every ult used by
Yeah,
basically just the offlaners.
Yeah. As was stated in the chat, yeah, I was about to comment on that. If for your own games, as well as for the future, if Arrogant Nephalem and Please Clap are watching this, those lasers, it's a common mistake made by people who don't really have a whole lot of practice with the Protector. They were only really hitting 1 or 2 targets with that laser, which is something to be aware of for the future. Now we do have another pause coming out from, if I recall, Please Clap. Yes. As we do have another disconnect.
Unfortunately, Hanjo has to restring his bow, I guess.
But of course.
And let's see, speaking of Hanzo, he is 4/5 of the way done with target practice. He just needs to. I can't tell from my UI who he has left to hit.
Oh yeah, it doesn't tell us.
It might, if we click on him, it might.
I just did that. It doesn't say.
Oh yeah. Well, I was thinking that if it would, but I don't think it will do this in the pause. Oh, and Hanzo is back.
Alright, yep, both teams are back ready. So let's give another countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and resume, because once again, I don't know where my pause button is. I should probably find that. Anyway.
Pause break right above the page up and down.
Ah, yes. Cool, thank you. I used to know where it was. Does look like Arrogant Nephalem is once again going for their camp. To be fair, their ults are shorter CDs, so they are more likely to win this fight, as evidenced by the fact that they have already won this fight. Mine does go out.
No,
there's the Aegis I was expecting.
Aegis is the perfect timing.
Huge amounts of damage. That Riptire, yeah, is gonna get a triple kill. Luckily, the items were used by Arrogant Nephalem, so not a whole lot is lost there, except obviously the 3 lives and the XP soak that comes with that. That will give 13s over to the right team, as well as an opportunity to do exactly what they're doing, which is just smack a fort as hard and fast as possible.
Yeah, I would say that if you're Please Clap, you should be donating to Wolf's Patreon right there, because he just saved your butts.
Yeah, for sure. That was a lost fight if it wasn't for that Aegis, which was brilliantly used. Speaking of brilliant, Kael'thas's use of his Qs here to just blow up the wave, as well as just slowly whittle away at the Mal'Ganis, who just fell there, was very nicely done, and just saved them a fort.
Yeah, there's no real need for Lysandro to be there, I don't think. That was being a little too aggressive, being that far forward.
This is definitely going to be an interesting series. Every mistake that I've seen so far has been punished almost immediately. And it's just... yeah, I'm very interested to see how things go from here on out.
And the other thing is that both teams have very similar power spikes, and it'll... At this point, we've kind of seen how the level 10 power spike is, and right now it is favoring Please Clap with that massive disengage. Like I said, between the Aegis and the arrow and the bomb, they specialize in saving somebody and then blowing the absolute hell out of that one spot where the dive has been in there. And Hanzo has, again, disconnected. Hanzo right now having to go out and buy some new shoestring for his internet connection. Needs to make sure both cans are lined up so that he should take his computer down to the local Hardee's and just set it up there.
Yeah. Hopefully he can do it in 15 minutes.
Yeah. That's how I traded Pokemon in college. I didn't have Wi-Fi, so I would go down to the Hardee's and just connect to their free internet. And it's gotta be better than whatever Hanzo is using right now. Or maybe this is all part of a cunning strategy by Please Clap to pause the game, be careful, research notes, and decide, hey, this is how we're going to approach this.
Yeah, maybe.
When we unpause, we want 2 in on top, 2 in on bottom. All right, 3, 2, 1, break.
Yeah, unfortunately, NGS does limit the amount of pauses available as well as the amount of time paused to both teams. And Please Clap is burning through that very quickly. And I'm hoping that doesn't cause them to have to play with a bot going forward.
Well, they have one more pause going by the rule that you just posted. If each team gets 4 pauses total.
Yep.
They have 1 left.
Yeah. Which I'm hoping it doesn't come down to it. Alright. Hopefully we are all good to go. Both teams are giving me the signal, so I'm going to go ahead and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There we go. And hopefully Hanzo's bow stops breaking.
Gotta call up AOL, tell them to send you a new modem.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Now, one thing that we haven't talked about yet, both Hanzo and Junkrat have a huge amount of vision control, and that can't be understated at any level of play. Having that much information at any point in time...
Arrow comes out, hold on. Big, huge engage here. Out comes the tire.
Both teams split like crazy.
These teams are super spread out right now, and it looks like Segatai
does go down, as does Trieb. Null Pointer does not get out, but both Leoric and Maev get out. But this is absolutely going to be a fort, and probably not an objective, as the channel was at first in favor of Arrogant Nephalem, but I can almost guarantee this is a double fort prior to this objective.
The disengage from Please Clap is just so strong, and I don't think that Anduin can really deal with the amount of burst of Hanzo and Junkrat. Like, they're taking basically 90% of their health in a split second, and what does Anduin do in that situation?
The only thing that he can do comes in at 16 and 20, both of which are huge options for his burst heal, which is, as you stated, his biggest weakness in the early game. But that's still 16 and 20, and right now it looks like they're going to try and engage without 16s versus 16s, and Dakilladin is going to pay for that engagement almost immediately. This should secure the objective for Please Clap. Possibly multiple kills, actually, as... There we go, another Riptire double kill. Lazy Hydra is just nailing those Riptires.
I think Arrogant Nephalem was just a little anxious there. They really needed to give up the objective, cut your losses, and it's very easy to let the game start to spiral out of control, but you just gotta play patiently. You got to say, okay, they win this, but we're not going to give them more of an advantage.
Yeah, and what can we get out of it while we're behind? Because they could have tried to put some pressure in the bot lane. They could have tried to get some turrets or something to help defend. There's a whole number of things that they could try to do to trade out instead of engaging behind talent tiers. And they could have just tried to buy time till 16. Like, I mean, they don't have a whole lot of poke, and they would have been out-poked, but they still could have tried. Like, engaging that deep was not helpful.
Yeah, and I think kind of the bottom line here is that Arrogant Nephalem has, like, Johanna has a very nice engage, but she can't dive.
Yeah, now.
She can't dive to follow up the Maya. They don't have anybody else on the team that dives with Maya, so Maya is kind of going out on an island by herself.
For sure.
Into all this poke. And if you look at the damage, you'll see just how that has been reflected. Hanzo has 50,000 damage done right now, and compare that to basically Leoric has the most damage for Arrogant Nephalem at 30,000.
I think a lot of that has to do with the double gank that we just watched that we didn't really comment on, but that definitely resulted in a lot of just stat padding for Leo in all stats.
Fair enough, but it's more to the issue that Maya just isn't able to get any damage done here, and that's because the team setup, Please Clap is set up to just shut her down, and her team can't really support her enough so that she gets a lot of value.
Yeah, for sure.
And 14 kills to 3. This is very much Please Clap's game to lose right now.
Yeah. Now, the one thing to notice is Leoric, I didn't see if he did take Neil Peasants, which will allow him to deal with all of this work Junkrat was putting in to try and push these lanes up in just a few seconds. It does look like we are going to see... Actually, I think that was a very good call by Arrogant Nephalem to pick up their camp so that it's just not invaded or they have to fight over it type thing. Try and generate a little bit of pressure and get the XP.
I would say I heavily disagree with Kime going Spooky Hand build here. If he had gone if he had gone E build, then he could follow Maiev into the enemy team and reduce that enormous amount of blow up damage by half.
I am curious.
The arrow and the tire from being impactful.
Yeah, I am curious how he's going to play with this though, because it does allow him. I know that his 16 doesn't heal him, but his 13 increases his healing. So he might still be able to go in, just not quite as deep as he might like to. So I don't know. We'll have to see how things work out, but we do see a lot of 20 advantage aggression coming out on that bottom keep wall. They really aren't getting a whole lot with this 20, though. They've had 20 advantage for the last, I want to say, minute and a half, and I would have expected to see a wall fall at this point, personally.
Yeah, Please Clap, I think, is playing very carefully right now. They have the lead. They've had it for a while. While they should be just looking for a comp and being aggressive in the invades, you can't blame them for not wanting to throw and just you know riding out their advantage.
Especially after that last advantage they pushed, which just kind of backfired on them. I can see it.
Yeah. And I will say that the issue with Spooky Hand build is not that he can't go in deep with it, it's just that the E build will just shut down enemy team damage. It gives a lot of mitigation, which is what Arrogant Nephalem needs.
No, for sure.
Yeah, they need for Maiev to stay alive.
Now we do see a lot of engagement coming out here. Anduin way far up.
Super low.
He can try and do some stuff to keep himself up, but I don't think he'll survive any more than another few seconds. The question is whether or not he can burn enough resources to make his death worth it. And it doesn't look like it, as the rest of his team does start falling almost immediately after he does. Johanna doesn't have the Iron Skin to get out of there, and it's another 4-man kill for the bottom protector, which, if I recall at this point, is almost as healthy as the core, and has an additional 10 armor to boot. So this is going to be very difficult for KT exclusively to fight, because even if he burns these minions, the core will outdamage the protector. So he's got to somehow buy a solid 30 seconds in here. And I'm not sure how he's going to be able to do that, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, this game is over. You have... It would basically be all on teammate to stop this...
yeah, GG's are being called, so they agree with you. There goes another Riptire.
Kind of needs to go back to the drawing board and try out one of their different comps.
Yeah, for sure.
Because Please Clap. I don't. Maybe it's just all part of the science and making you think that they're not putting a lot of thought into it, because that was a very well played team composition with a lot of disengaged tools, which provided them with exactly what they needed.
Yeah, especially with that much poke. Because that's the issue with a poke comp, is how do you keep people from just diving onto your poke heroes and just blowing them up. So, we are at Battlefield of Eternity in game number 2 of our series of 5, and I'm aware that the score does not yet reflect that. I don't know why it's not updating. There we go. But everything is going wrong. Anyway, so yeah, welcome to Battlefield of Eternity in game number 2 of our series of 5. If you're wondering how we got here, allow me to show you. So, Arrogant Nephalem won the first pick, choosing to go to... won the coin flip, choosing to go for first pick. Please Clap then decided to ban out Brax's Holdout and Sky Temple, causing Arrogant Nephalem to ban out Cursed Hollow and Alterac Pass. Please Clap then took us to Volskaya Foundry and won. Arrogant Nephalem decided to go for first pick yet again, trying it again, and picking up, leading to Please Clap to pick up Battlefield of Eternity. And the draft is already moving quickly, so we have plenty of ground to cover back.
And I will say that I did say that Please Clap does fly this by the seat of their pants. Hydra does do his research, even if his team might ignore it. And he is the one banning, so that is why you're seeing the Varian and the Deathwing.
Yeah, I figured.
And there's the Ranger.
Now, I am curious whether Please Clap steals the Johanna here to A, try and shut down the Rainer, and B, try and starve them out of tanks. I'm guessing that's going to happen.
Second Eye can play most of the tanks. You can definitely play all of the meta tanks.
There's Ming. And there's Ana, so we're going for, it looks like, a full-blown Ana blow-up comp or some form of reset-centric comp.
And, yeah, and Johanna, again, not necessarily as important because there's no real wave clear here.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't race that well. She does provide, a good wall for your team. There's the Anduin pickup, and
now if I was Arrogant Nephalem, I would have picked up Jaina right here. I would have not given them the opportunity to ban it, because they could very easily ban this right now, and from everything I'm seeing, it would ruin the tactic for Arrogant Nephalem. I'm not sure what they could also ban out Johanna. I mean, I guess they could go Mephisto. I don't know.
Mephisto, it does a really good amount of race.
Carol.
Not as much as Jaina, but he has the advantage that he is able to poke a little bit better if the Immortal's getting low, and he has amazing point control with Durance of Hate.
Very true. We do see the Greymane ban, and I think that's really smart, as with the other team already showing reset, if that Greymane goes for, I forget what it's called, but the Beast ultimate, go for the throat. That would be a really awkward position for them to deal with, as that's just going to be kill after kill after kill, relentlessly rolling over them. One kill is just going to lead to a instantaneous team wipe.
Well, because they have the Li Ming, I figured they would go. They'd be worried about the bullet getting them low, and then Li Ming finishing them off.
That would also hurt. Both cases would suck.
And we have a take swap.
Kel'Thuzad.
Oh,
Okay.
So, what we have here is what I like to call shenanigans, because the Kil'jaeden's going to swap with Trey. There you go.
Okay.
They had the Kil'jaeden pick first, pick the Raynor first, and it made me think, okay, the Kil'jaeden's going to be on Raynor, as she is. And I was even thinking about her own mage pool, which includes Kel'Thuzad. So
I honestly really like Kel'Thuzad here, because Ana has basically no mobility. Hanzo has no mobility aside from a really long CD. Johanna's basically a walking ice shard. And Leoric occasionally turns into a walking ice shard. So all of these make KTZ combos just really easy to pull off and really brutal. Not to mention Strip Shields turns Johanna into basically just a dead tank.
And also, it's a 2-lane map.
True, very true.
It's a 2-lane map with a lot of team fighting going on during the laning phase, so KTZ gets those stacks lickety-split. And this time I will go with Please Clap.
Alright, in that case, I will start off with Arrogant Nephalem. We have Null Pointer on Anduin, Dekilladin on Kel'Thuzad, Trabe on Raynor, and Sagati on Mal'Ganis, as well as Kime on the Blaze. That is Arrogant Nephalem.
For Please Clap, we have Lazy Hydra on Li Ming, Lothar on Hanzo, Golden on Leoric, Lysandro on Johanna, and Wolf on the Ana. And we have W build coming out this time from the Hanzo, which I agree with, because it has pretty good race here.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I have seen people complete the Hanzo W quest in 4 minutes on this map because of how easy it is to land.
I believe it. Now this is scary, and Kime has no way to know that this is happening. Because honestly, I think if Leoric plays this right, Kime has no escape out of this situation in top lane. Because all he has to do is stop the charge. And it doesn't look like he's going to be able to.
Yeah, Kime just walks away.
Yep.
And eats an orb, doesn't but yeah.
Now, I'm curious if we're going to see this 2-3 split continue on. As this is going to make Kime harder to soak. But with a Raynor in the bot lane, this could easily lose a wall, no question.
Well, they should be taking this camp, and yeah, that's what they're doing.
Yep.
Do they have Exterminator? Yes, they do. So they're going to take that camp super fast.
Yeah,
I was like, well, why are they having this 2-3 split? They're doing this to counter the KTZ.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, it'll slow down KTZ's stacking, because he only has 3 targets to deal with.
Yeah, this is a very, very good adaptation by Please Clap, as far as keeping KTZ stacked. But yeah, they are losing out bottom faster than they're losing out top. So I don't know if this is going to pay off.
Yeah, it'll pay off for the first objective, because obviously KTZ has no chance to get Blight before the first objective. But I didn't think he was going to anyway, personally. Like, especially against this team, he really needs to get a little bit of Blight up first, and then he's going to stack up a lot harder.
Oh, yeah, there's no way he gets 30 stacks before first objective. And 30 is when he gets the increased spell power.
Yep.
15 will give him access to the Glacial Spike, which is important for him, but pre-10, he's not, going to be blowing anybody up anyway.
Now we do see the camp being picked up on the left side. With that exterminator, camps are going to be picked up at ridiculous pace, because even that was buffed when Raynor was buffed.
Right.
Meanwhile...
Yeah, exterminator does a ton now. But I still think that Please Clap has better erase, because KTZ cannot erase at all right now.
Yeah, no. But one thing to note, this camp needs to be dealt with immediately, as it is being dealt with immediately, because without this front wall, this is not something that you want to have to deal with. Now there goes Hanzo's leap, but that is still extra blight stacks for KTZ, so even though he doesn't die, KTZ's already almost at 10. This is about where I'd expect him to be, even without the, with or without the split that they're doing.
And this is well played by Arrogant Nephalem. What they've done is they're sending their only race, Raider, onto the Immortal, and they're having the rest defend, which gives the Kilden an opportunity to get stacks, and also her stuns can very easily just, stop damage from coming out. So it'll be interesting. Yeah, I think the Arrogant Nephalem might just barely get this Immortal. Oh, wow. 3,000.
Yeah, about 15% shield for the Immortal. This is a pretty solid first Immortal, in all honesty. And it is obviously going to go top due to the fact that bot doesn't have a front wall. This is a really awkward position for Please Clap. I mean, they still have plenty of time to adapt. I think once their Li Ming is fully online and has her ultimate, and is able to get those resets a lot easier, things will change at least a little bit, but at that same time, KTZ's going to have his Blight by that point, and that's going to be a really tough position.
Well, we play with KTZ a lot in Beach Coast, and the thing that we always are saying is that if we're winning before KTZ is finished stacking and before level 10, then after that happens, it's just going to become a massive. He's half a hero right now. He's less than half because he doesn't have Glacial Spike right now, and he's doing essentially half the damage he will be doing later on in the game.
As a Ming reset, it doesn't look like they're able to find another kill with it though that does slow down KTZ's stacking. Now he's starting to fall behind what I'd expect from a KTZ at this point. He can easily catch up, considering he's been getting, in those team fights, he's been getting stack after stack without question, especially because of, as you had mentioned, how they're behaving around these Immortals. But even still, I don't know. We'll have to see how Please Clap adapts to this and how they keep denying KTZ stacks. This definitely looks like they changed tactics.
Yeah, ideally you want to be fully stacked by level 10, but the difference between getting stacked before you have Spike and after Spike is huge. The first 15 is always the hardest.
Yeah, for sure.
And it looks like they're going to get this top fort. They are just out macroing Please Clap left and right here.
Yeah, and that's 15 stacks for KTZ. He's going to have a hard time pulling the Johanna as well as the Leoric, but that's still going to be a lot easier stacks for him, as you were just talking about. And it does look like Please Clap is trying to counter, but they're not going to be able to take this fort, whereas, as you just said, Arrogant Nephalem took top fort basically without contest. It actually looks like we might see a kill going out on Wolf here.
Oh,
now they do get out, but Sugtai,
pay for that. And no, unstoppable. But
there's the Li Ming reset, and the team very low, but not low enough for Li Ming to get a second reset. But without a Mal'Ganis, they're not going to be able to do much about this objective. Not for the next 15 seconds or so.
Yeah. And it is Frost Blast, surprisingly. I am interested to see how they are going to have that work out. Frost Blast has got buffs recently, but I'm not sure what the follow-up is for the Frost Blast.
Yeah, the only thing I can see, possibly... Oh, Hyperion. Raynor went Hyperion, so they're going for a full-blown combo like that,
comes
but it's not
Zero.
going to work if the Killadin just falls right here. Frost Blast does go out.
Frost Blast! The root!
Lothar is
without
not in any position to go down, and Bunker saves Blaze, and Johanna falls. Everyone's just falling on both sides, Leeming not able to benefit from those resets,
Wow.
and goes down.
And up to 20 sacks for to kill it. And let's be fair to Killadin here. If she was stacked fully there, that's a dead Hanzo.
100%.
Yeah, you're essentially, it's dealing 151 damage to the target. It actually does more damage. I didn't know this. It deals more damage to people around the target than the target itself.
Oh, really?
But
Oh, yeah. So it does.
So it only did 151 damage, whereas if she was fully stacked, it would deal about 500 or 400.
Now, KTZ does now have Phylactery, which will help deal with all of the aggression going out onto him. As we've been seeing, he's been getting pretty low, but still throwing out damage the entire time. So having that life leech is going to be a lifesaver. Literally.
Yeah, it certainly would have saved KTZ from at least one kill. And considering that I think that Please Clap has the better race, it's interesting that they haven't won the Immortal. The first one they lost because they just didn't get on the Immortal fast enough, and second time going in
Very
so
quickly.
Reset
And there's the
reset,
resets, yeah.
and
Blaze is going to go down as soon as he's out. Yep, there we go. And Li Meng getting plenty of reset value there. I think I did see the Frost Blast. Yeah, the Frost Blast did go out in that fight. I didn't see it get any value, though, really.
Oh, and Trey died without using Hyperion. If he had used Hyperion, that would probably be enough to keep down to about quarter health.
Yeah, for sure, which means all it takes is a solid poke or two from pretty much anyone on the team, and that would have been a keep and constant catapult pressure.
Yeah, you could have thrown out the Hyperion.
Do see lots of aggression going out onto the Anduin here. Light Bomb onto himself, hitting no one. Just trying to disengage, but Sagatai has other plans. I'm not sure they're going to find a kill here. Actually, they might with that Ana. Frost Blast does go out, securing the Ana's kill.
There's the Frost Blast value right there.
For sure. That Ana would have survived without the root. Do see the Glacial Spike, but it's too far away to do much of anything. Golden getting zoned by the root. I don't think he gets out of this alive. And he doesn't either, that's why he turns there. Just trying to buy time for his team.
What the Kilden should be doing is targeting that Ana with the Frost Blast, because
For sure.
Ana has no way to get away.
Yeah, no.
She can cleanse other people, but she can't cleanse herself.
Yeah, and if she's aiming down sights, her speed is, I think, half.
Mm. And when she's rooted, it's 0.
Obviously.
And that's a lot of pressure coming in for Please Clap It from top and bottom right now.
Yeah, they've got to answer this aggression, but at the same time, they have to also win this Immortal. They've built for race, and they have to win one of these fights in order to benefit from that. If they do, they're going to have basically a full health Immortal. They only really need to win 1 or 2 Immortals, likely, to win the game. Blessed Shield does go out. Mal'Ganis is forced out of the fight, but Blaze makes plenty of issues.
No, it wasn't interrupted, but it went out on Johanna.
Mistargeted. Lots of damage does go out. Blaze and Raynor both go down.
Reset!
Leoric barely makes it out with only double-digit health. Hyperion did go out, dealing huge amounts of damage, but I don't think enough. Big pull onto the Hanzo, unfortunately actually pulling him out of the Immortal stun. But a lot of their race is Arthing.
Well, they're I don't know why they sent 2 people back to deal with, because they were trying to deal with this camp in bottom lane that took out the tower, but they did need Li Ming to go back too.
I think it was because she was low health, but she had plenty of mana, and with the entire enemy team showing top or dead, I think that was a misplay, personally.
Well, yeah, and you have Ana. Ana is amazing at single target healing.
Yeah. Now this is going to be, it looks like basically a full health Immortal for Please Clap. This is going to generate a lot of pressure at almost 13 minutes into the game. If it goes... It's going to go top, which means this bottom camp still needs to be answered, or that's a heap that's going to fall. Especially considering it's falling in right behind a wave. And it does look like Leo's going to deal with that, but that's one less person for the push. Honestly, if I'm Arrogant Nephalem, I just dive past the Immortal and ignore it. Just trying to get kills.
And that's the Cold Dart activated for to kill it in 30 stacks, 125% more damage. No, sorry, 75%.
This is going to change the game. This entire game changes right here, right now. Now, the Frost Blast goes out, not really hitting anyone worthwhile.
But it does disengage.
Yeah. With the Immortal already at half health taking a fort, I honestly feel like they played this fight perfectly, practically. Now, I do feel like
Sagat... a little deep, but he just puts everybody to sleep and walks away.
And no one wakes him up. That's expert communication there. Now, I do love how Anduin steps up here, not thinking that he's going to survive, but he does manage to. And with a double kill, no less.
Stuns!
Beautiful stun coming out from the chains, and Lazy Hydra cannot get out of this. Hanzo trying to get a kill, maybe to get some resets, but not going to be able to do it.
The Kilden is popping off.
Hardcore.
Just landing those crazy stuns. I don't know how, like, it went over the wall and pulled them both into the wall. That was just crazy.
Now, one thing to notice, KTZ did go for the decreased chain cooldown as well as Power of Ice Crown. And with a Frost Blast, this is going to be a huge amount of constant damage, as you're seeing KTZ's damage is increasing every time he does practically anything. And there goes Golden from 100 to 0 with, I don't think, very much damage coming out from the rest of the team, in all honesty.
And because Kilden went the level 1 barb chains, that's armor reduction too. So landing those chains over and over and over means that they can keep landing those chains, which is more damage and more armor reduction. This is becoming untenable right now for Please Clap.
Now, they do have an answer in their 20s, but the question is, at 2 levels behind, is there any way that they can get it before they lose this game? Because they are purely relying on 20s in order to win at this point. If they can make it there, they win, but that's it.
This is one of the big problems about this map, because top lane is going to be providing constant pressure. They need to race and then also keep top from pushing in too much, and they also have to defend their Immortal. So as the longer this gets delayed, if they don't attack the Immortal, defend the Immortal, and defend the lanes, then they lose. What do you do in that situation? You can't do all three.
Correct. And Frost Blast does go out, almost hitting 2 people. Lots of damage coming out on the right side, but all it takes is one solid turn, and all that damage goes right back onto Red Team. As you can see right here, Lothar almost goes down with the hand of the Immortal, but instead goes down at the hand of the Bats. Golden all the way out on an island does fall Zagatai, disengaging with the sleep. Everybody's just dropping left, right, and center. Big chains coming out from the Kel'Thuzad. Johanna goes down. Lazy Hydra dives in, but then starts to leave. Now, we did see the Phylactery pop, probably to just try and increase the aggression on this map. And to be fair, at this point, I don't think the healing is going to get nearly as much value, as he's already pretty much staying at max health at all times. Lazy Hydra, Lazy Hydra going down with one solid KTZ combo.
And the power of the Phylactery right there.
Yep.
Top what? So Arrogant Nephalem either needs to win right here, or they need. Okay, Blaze is going back to clear top. Just all of these combos coming out, and the synergy between the Mal'Ganis and the KTZ, not put it the Mal'Ganis singing them a lullaby and KTZ rudely waking them up. And level 20s, please tell me that KTZ is going to go the upgrade Frost Blast. They did.
Honestly,
upgrade Frost Blast.
Honestly, if Johanna doesn't get her self massive shield, and Ana doesn't go for the healing on the spell, and they don't get that before game ends here, I don't think this game is going to last any longer than this. This is a very healthy Immortal. They have a few options of how to deal with this, but they have to play flawlessly and abuse some mistake being done by the other team.
Right, and you're going to have the... you have... Oh, a little bit early on that, but... Can it go off? Yes! Yes!
It does go off, securing a double kill. Lazy Hydra does fall, trying to get a single reset to save her own life. Blaze did survive with the bunker, but that's not enough. Lothar doing some weird jump. I have no idea how that worked, but he did manage to save himself, but not the game, as this is Game 2 for Arrogant Nephalem. GG's. As was stated, we are at Towers of Doom for game number 3 in our series of 5. So, if you're wondering how we got here, allow me to explain. So, Arrogant Nephalem won the coin flip, deciding to take first pick, thus causing Please Clap to ban out Brexus Holdout and Sky Temple. Arrogant Nephalem then respond by banning out Cursed Hollow and Alterac Pass. Please Clap then takes us to Velskaya and wins, which then gives them map pick once again, and then they take us to Battlefield of Eternity and lose. They decide to go for first pick, meaning Arrogant Nephalem gets to choose the map they want to go to, and they say, why not Towers of Doom? And once again, the draft is going quite quickly, not quite as quickly as last time, but still pretty quickly, as we do already have the Varian and the Raynor bans.
I'm expecting Please Clap to ban Deathwing. There we go.
I'm honestly not sure why, personally.
Because they don't have as much faith in their Deathwing player.
I mean,
Deathwing is
fair.
a liability if you don't have somebody who can play it.
Yeah, and Arrogant Nephalem has proven that they know how to counter Deathwing, but even still, he's not really strong on this map, because you'll be forced to lose bot lane for the most part.
He is super strong in this map. He's insane.
Fair enough.
He provides so much point control. He can delay shrines from being captured nearly indefinitely, and just all the tight corridors. Like, you played him in the 4-man.
Now, we do see a Tyrande being picked up by Wolf here. That typically indicates a kind of point-click kill composition. So the question is, A, why did they show that so early? And B, how is Arrogant Nephalem going to respond to it, aside from obviously picking the Malthael for the double soak?
And there's the Mal'Ganis pickup because of how, so far it's a 100% win rate for Mal'Ganis. I think it was a bit of a panic by Wolf because they've been banning out the Tyrande, and they banned it out last game. They banned out Tyrande and Yrel.
True.
So they might have been thinking, okay, well, they might have banned out the Jimmy in order to grab the Tyrande into the 1-2 slot.
Yeah, I mean, Greymane's not horrible for it, but with the Leoric Greymane, it looks like they're trying to hide the fact that it's a point-click kill. But that's really the only strength Tyrande has, is her strength in that scenario. She can keep a tank alive long enough to set up for it, and then she can follow up with it with her E, which deals huge amounts of damage for a support, and armor decrease, and the person just dies. So, I don't know, it looks like they're telegraphing and then trying not to telegraph.
No, I disagree. They see the tank that they have to go up against, which is Mal'Ganis. So they have a number of takes that set up Tyrande very well for the follow-up. And Greymane is perhaps the best one, the best hero in the game for the stun blow-up follow-up, because Bullet. And I would not be surprised to see Li Ming and ETC, Garrosh, or Anub'arak in that order.
I'm thinking Oh, you mean okay?
Right.
Maybe.
I think that they're going to go Lime here. There's the Mephisto.
Okay. Yeah. Falstad. Okay.
Oh, that is a bit of a shock to me. I was most certainly not expecting the Falstad because... but he can work here. I don't think you can bribe stacks here, but I'm just surprised they gave
Main tank Blaze.
I'm surprised they just gave Sylvanas to Arrogant Nephalem in the last pick slot.
Yeah. I'm honestly not sure about this Please Clap draft. Like, I was...
I'm not either.
I did like the first
like
3 picks. I was just kind of curious about the psychology of it. But the Falstad Blaze, because Blaze, his stun is solid. But it's so far away that Tyranda's going to have a hard time following up without being out of position, and that's not a position you want to be in with a Mal'Ganis, Mephisto, and Vala. That's just going to...
Right.
You're not going to survive if you're that far up as a Tyranda against this. Like,
the Blaze can set up the Tyranda stun, but it's I don't think it is the best option for it. I'm just maybe the Kilden doesn't play Sylvanas, which I thought the Kilden did, but I could very easily be wrong. I'm just surprised that Sylvanas made it through bans, and
Agreed.
then was just, left on the side of the road like so much trash.
yeah. I mean, to be honest, I do think I honestly like the Vala a little bit better with the Mephisto. I mean, they lose out a little bit on the macro that Sylvanas would bring, but I like it with the, because they can follow up the Mal'Ganis setup with a root after 10, and they can follow that up with a Vala stun. But enough of that for the time being. Which team would you like to introduce?
I did Please Clap last time, so I'll do Arrogant Nephalem this time. We have the Kilden on Vala. We have Null Pointer on Anna, Kime on the Malthael, Trabe on Mephisto, and Segatai on the Mal'Ganis.
And for the right side, we have Lazy Hydra on Falstad, Lothar on... I can't tell which one he's playing yet. Greymane, Lazando on Blaze, Wolf on Tyranda, and Golden on Leoric. That is Please Clap.
I'm a little surprised that Lazy Hydra went Bribe, or Wingman here. He is in the 4-man, but it's going to be very hard for him to steal the camps from Arrogant Nephalem.
And ignoring that, he's not going to be double soaking, so he's going to be basically half Bribe, because the mid lane is Leoric's job.
Right. Or shifty. But assuming that they know that that's what Arrogant Nephalem wants to do. And you're exactly right, though.
Does look like the 4-man is going to be rotating, though. And meanwhile, Malthael, using his Pale Horse, is already generating the pressure.
Right.
I seem to be focusing a lot on these bribe stacks, which I don't think are worth sacrificing bot for. It almost looks like they're playing 2 different games, to be honest.
It's very much not what you wanted here. And, I guess... Like, I assumed that you picked Leoric into Malthael for the double soak, but say... Okay, now Leoric is going down to double soak. To be fair, Leoric
big
can't
aggression coming out from the left team. Oh, right, yeah, he's relying on his fork. I keep forgetting that. Vala is going to go down, it looks like, though. Leoric is trying to go... for this team fight. Right team does manage to secure their own camp.
No deaths, that's huge.
Yep, no deaths. The Killidan somehow made it out alive, and I missed how that happened. I'm assuming that he can thank his Ana.
Always think you're on. But even though, like, Leoric can't double soak level 4, that doesn't justify picking Wingman.
Yeah. Yeah, and we also are seeing, once again, a front wall going down in the first few minutes at the hands of Arrogant Nephalem. Yeah, on Towers of Doom, no less. Please Clap has got to find a rhythm in order to deal with this.
Right. That's just kind of the power of Mephisto push. Look at, like, he's doing double the siege of the rest of his team in the 4-man, and he's doing an insane amount of, also double the hero damage.
Yeah. That's...
Mephisto's early game now with W build is so strong. And it's a build that I have been a champion of for a very long time.
We do have a team fight coming out in this bot lane, it looks like. I thought we'd see the Malthael going for his own shrine, but it looks like not so much.
I don't understand this at all. Why did they go all in on bot and not have teammate cap top? I'm confused.
I'm not 100% sure either, but I'm assuming that we'll see something. Some reason.
Like, yeah.
To be fair, they didn't lose any soak, which is usually the reason why you keep the solo laner up there for the first phase.
I mean, it's half for that, and the other half is to cap the little tower that's free.
You're not wrong. This camp timing I really want to talk about here, because they were here right as it was coming up. That was beautifully done and perfectly played. And if they can keep that mentality up for the rest of this season, for the rest of this matchup, it's going to be very rough for the enemy team. Especially considering, even though they're doing the same on the right side, they've already gotten the camp timing advantage, which means they can try and force a fight and make this take longer and longer and longer each time.
Right. Well, until Falstad uses bribe on his own camp, and then
you're not right.
Then it's half the cool. No, is it? It is half the cooldown. No, it's not.
Not with Falstad's bribe.
You're right. They've changed around the bribes.
Everyone's very low, specifically Falstad on the right side. I think they'll be able to clear up these pumpkins. It does look like the next shrine phase is a full top lane investment. So the question is, with Arrogant Nephalem and how they've been playing so far, do they rotate up for it, or do they just give even more tower shots to secure bottom lane? Does look like they're going to go up, though.
I say you go up, because I have seen way too many teams get bottom lane and then don't do anything with it.
Yeah.
So it would be very Munkus to just give up 4 shots to take bottom tower and then not constantly provide pressure.
Very fair.
Until later on.
Ektar does make a good point in chat. Even if Falstad doesn't get a whole lot of value with his bribe when it comes to stealing camps and stuff, it does still buff his W damage. And it does look like he's going for the Bird Box build, so just trying to bring more utility as well as extra damage to his team in the late game.
It only gives him more W damage based on the number of bribes spent.
Yes.
And I don't think he has spent any.
He is not yet. We do see ultimates coming out from the left side, and ultimates trying to force the disengage to kill it in very low. And Last Rites does secure the kill on Lothar, which that is another 15 seconds off of the Last Rites timer. But Malthael does go down for it, as well as the Mephisto, which I did miss that kill.
The M&M's got downed by the Falstad, the Malthael and the Mephisto.
Once again, we do see the camp timing being picked up. I think it's a little bit late this time, but they were trying to push their 10 advantage. I don't think they had it long enough to play that risky, though, personally.
Oh, absolutely not. And I think Falstad's going to go and cap his top camp, and he is. Bribe goes out, and that is level 1, now 15% stronger.
Yep, and extra map pressure going out, but he is going to be a little bit late to this fight, even with flight. Yeah, he's not going to approach immediately. But it's not going to be late enough to give Arrogant Nephalem a serious advantage, especially as the Gust forces the disengage. Bunker trying to buy Blaze some time, gets burnt through, and Last Rites does go out, securing the kill. Off lane for tank.
Yeah, you hate to see it when
Entomb goes out.
Pops Blaze, or pops his method of dodging Last Rites, and then he gets hit for the Last Rites.
Yep. I think both teams are far too low to fight this. Especially with Falstad going down, I don't think there's any way that the right team can poke this out.
No.
Now, I do want to quickly comment on the very aggressive Mephisto here in tower range that we did see a second ago. Just trying to secure a kill without a single minion or anything. That was a bit nuts. And I don't think that was the first time he's done something that nuts this game.
It is surprisingly safe with Ana healing.
Okay.
Because they have no way of locking him down. If they had like a Garrosh or a Nubrak, it would have made it unsafe. But he eases in, he does that, and then he's all the way back behind his front line. It's the power of Mephisto.
Fair. Big Sleep going out, Stun trying to slow it down. The Root does go out, hitting a unstoppable target, not getting a whole lot of value. However, what does get value is the stun coming out from the Bala. Treyab falling very low once again in enemy tower range.
Yeah, he takes the hit, but he has Ana healing, so Ana just boop boop, and he's back up to full.
Yep.
And he does the reverse teleport, this Shade. He's just so safe. So much pressure.
Speaking of pressure, this is bottom fort for the left team, meaning that the only ways to get into either of these bottom objectives are through choke points, which this team seems to be built to punish, in all honesty.
Yeah, they are, and Mephisto with Shard of Hate and Endurance, like he's just gonna be able to set Please Clap up to take a root and then massive W damage.
Mm-hmm. Now they are engaging very hard on defending this. Root goes out onto the healer. No setup for it. Bunker did go out, not able to save their poor healer. And everybody on both sides just starts falling back and forth. But it does look like it's going to be a 1-for-2 trade, as they weren't able to secure the other kill or the fort on the side of Please Clap. And that wave clear just being decimated.
It's easy for Trade to carry on Mephisto because he has that extra set of shoulders with Mephisto to carry.
Fair, very fair. Now, I do like this call, in all honesty. With this fort being so low, none of these three can leave this bottom fort. So Malthael goes missing Soak, but he's already ahead by a talent tier, and he just picks up a camp and then rejoins his double Soak, probably only missing a few minions, honestly. It actually looks like he's going to pick up both camps, which is going to get more value, and he's probably going to only miss a wave. Maybe two.
And
however, Please Clap does know this now.
Yeah, and it denies Falstad his stacks.
Very fair. Very, very fair. And we do see a lot of abilities coming out, including Gust, just to try and save the Mephisto. Both teams kind of split here. Treyab falling very quickly. Mal'Ganis attempting to save him, but not able to, as his
they
ultimate
need to
doesn't
back
save
out
allies.
and go start. Okay, they've given up both of top to Please Clap again.
I think they're actually only going to give one, as Kime is setting up, and I think he can outduel Falstad. It'll be a little bit tight until his team comes, but think he can survive long enough to get his team to show up.
He missed the E on the
Yeah,
both
no.
there. This is so far. It's been 8 points they've given up to Please Clap for really no reason, and it's keeping Please Clap in the game. This is like, despite how dominating Arrogant Nephalem has been this entire game,
That's
the score is
dead
20 to 19.
Yeah. There's no way. Yeah. Malthael goes down there. Massive bush gank. That was very well done on the side of Please Clap. So, yeah, huge Durance securing 4 roots and a full kill on a almost 75% health target. That was really well done to try and secure the... Oh, both double soaking offlaners. I just realized, yeah, both double soaking offlaners are gone, meaning that Please Clap is not able to try and benefit by capturing bottom without missing soak and pressure elsewhere on the map.
Right, and they're now ahead in experience, though. Like, this is crazy for how established Arrogant Nephalem was to start off this game, how dominant it appeared they were, and then, oh, what's that? You're suddenly even on kills, you're behind in experience, and you only have a 1-point lead in core damage.
Yep. This is still very much anyone's game.
Yeah, that's the madness of Towers of Doom. It's not over until it's over.
Yep.
Out comes Endurance, big, it lands, but down goes Mal'Ganis, and this is a dead Mephisto. That is 8 points.
Gus does secure the Mephisto kill at the cost of a relatively short cooldown ultimate, and likely 2 channels for Please Clap. Yep. This is...
It's 12 to 19 now.
Yep, and it's not really a good position as they cannot defend this bottom fort for another 30 seconds minimum, which means with this much siege, I think this is a bottom fort for the right team. All they have to do is secure it. Now we are starting to approach 20s, and thinking about 20s, I honestly really like the right teams more. Having the Wind Tunnel allows Falstad to secure basically any objective or boss he wants. The Buried Alive is going to be brutal. Tyrande gaining, it looks like, yeah, she's going to go for the free Lunar Flare, so that just constant stuns coming out on anyone she attacks. The, Hunter's Blunderbuss, all of that, all the 20s for the right team are just brutal. Meanwhile, Vala only gets a little bit of safety. Ana gets some healing off of spell damage. Kime goes down again, and gets his return, but that's not going to help too much with the issues they've been having. Mephisto can go for a silence or a bunch of expansion. Yeah, that's the Wind Tunnel I was talking about. The Durance does go out, but mostly just to try and get him out, and it looks like he does go for Mimic, trying to get the extra damage instead of the silence, which honestly I think they desperately needed the silence in this position. They seemed fine on damage, they just couldn't keep the enemies from doing enough to keep them in this game.
I will note that Durance only, the upgrade only silences after the route is finished.
Oh, it does? Okay. I did not know that. Thank you for clarifying that.
Don't get me wrong, it's very strong, but you're not going to silence somebody for the duration of the route.
Okay.
They get rooted and then they get silenced.
But yeah, with the 20s in play, I honestly think this is basically secured for Please Clap unless they make some major mistake. Which they're going for boss, trying to deny the comeback to their enemies, as well as securing another 4 damage. All they need is 1 channel at this point. This is only a double phase coming up, though. So it may not happen yet, but you never know.
And 4 to 19, I just can't help but thinking that this should have been a 12 to 11 game right now.
That's very fair. There were plenty of misplays, which on Towers of Doom, yeah, you can come back from, but they add up, little by little.
And that's a fair point, Secret. The Durant silence, without a cleanse on their team, would be particularly strong.
Did Tyrande not take Pseudo Cleanse? She did not take her Pseudo Cleanse. So yeah, they have nothing to deal with a silence or the Durance.
Right. And Falstad needs proper positioning to use his most dangerous abilities. And the root stops half of that, and the silence absorbs the other half.
Yep. Well, we'll have to see. There goes the Entomb not getting anywhere near enough value to secure this fight. Ultimates are going out. None of them really doing a whole lot, but everybody is starting to get low. There goes the Durance. The Bunker trying to secure the Blaze, as does the Wind Tunnel. A little bit of counter synergy, I think, there. As Blaze just stayed in the bunker when he could have walked safely out of the scenario. And he does go down with the last rites. I think that secures both of these objectives for Arrogant Nephalem. I think they just took that fight not how they wanted to. And that's going to be enough to get Arrogant Nephalem back in this game.
It's 9-4, and right now, please not us to be worried about a 6 cap. And really, I think that what they should have done there is just split Arrogant Nephalem's attention and try to cap the bottom one. But they couldn't because of the position they had lost the fort. It means it would have meant that going in there to die.
Yeah.
So unless you had like Falstad inting, which would have been acceptable, I guess, you weren't going to get anything.
We did just see
wow.
Yeah, just missed a Greymane gank mid, which, yeah, is absolutely huge, especially with that mid tower. And there's 3 shots coming in bot, and 6 possible shots on this map, as well as a possible bombardment thanks to that gank.
Yeah.
If they can get a bombardment, they take this game. Wind Tunnel does buy time, and enough time for some members to rotate up, but there's still two shots coming in bot.
Go in and
it was 3. I don't know where the third shot was, but yeah, this is not a fun position for Please Clap, as they were in a really good position, but one fight, and that was it. They're now even. Actually, no, they're not even. If both teams capture one of these objectives, only one team wins. Bright Alive, though, does seem to secure the Mal'Ganis, and it does so. Valo going down very quickly, lots of damage. This fort does go down, triggering bombardment. They now have 60 seconds. I think it's once every 10 seconds. No, it's once every 5 seconds, so they have 30 seconds to get back in this game and stop Kime from firing. And that's that. That is game number 3 going in favor of Arrogant Nephalem. Welcome to Dragonshire, picked by Arrogant Nephalem. You may ask how we got here. Allow me to cover that for you. So, Arrogant Nephalem won the coin flip, deciding for first pick, meaning Please Clap decided to ban out Brax's Holdout and Sky Temple. Arrogant Nephalem then banned out Cursed Hollow and Alterac Pass. Please Clap then took us to Volskaya and won, and then took us to BOE and lost, leaving Arrogant Nephalem to take us to Towers of Doom, which they won, and then Arrogant Nephalem is now taking us to Dragonshire, which the results are yet to be seen. And the draft is definitely going slower this time. So,
they're being taking a lot more into consideration here. And possibly talking about their own drafts. So I think that they're just banning the same thing that they banned before.
Yeah, probably just trying to buy time for tactics. I'm very curious. Is this a Deathwing ban? Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah,
Absolutely.
they're just gonna do Deathwing variant every time, it looks like.
Mm-hmm. They only have one more opportunity to ban Deathwing variant, and then it's the end of season.
Let's hope they take advantage of it. Like I said, I kind of want to see this go to a Game 5. No.
Yeah, I too am rooting for Please Clap so that we get that Game 5. And
Urel.
Urel, it's Jimmy Urel. Arrogant Nephalem has settled onto the nice little sweet spot of their bands.
Hey, if it works, don't question it.
Right. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
For sure. I'm curious what our first pick is. Do they try and deny the
Good
Johanna?
Possibly. Johanna, maybe Hanzo, or Rexar. Mal'Ganis! I'm just wrong. But that does give Rexar over to, Arrogant Nephalem. But to be fair, Mal'Ganis has had, what, a 100% win rate so far in this series?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's been a tank that's decided a lot of things so far. Malthael, kind of what I expected. Either double soak or a more dual-focused build. And an Anduin. They really do like their Anduin.
Yeah, and No Pointer is very good on Anduin.
For sure.
And as long as Please Clap has to keep banning Variant and Deathwing, then they're going to have the option to pick up Malthael and Anduin.
Now we do
There's
see,
the Sylvanas.
Yeah. There's the Sylvanas we expected to see last game, and a Malfurion. Okay. So they're gonna go for a lot longer of fights.
I disagree. They're going for sleep into root into blow up in that bottom way.
Fair. Very fair. Yeah, because Malfurion's root can deny heals, which so far it looks like it's going to be very important to do in team fights.
And Li Ming being banned out, that is a good ban. If I am Please Clap, you might want to get rid of that Mephisto.
Yeah, I could definitely see an argument for Mephisto. I could also see an argument trying to just starve them out of tanks and banning out Johanna, especially with the Anduin. That's always a scary combo.
The Mephisto has been doing all the work. Oh no!
Looks like they
Listen to you and not to me.
Yep, looks like they agreed with me.
Well, if they win, then I'll give you all the props, and if they lose, then clearly they should have banned Mephisto.
Yep, it was decided by that one ban. Even if Arrogant Nephalem doesn't even play Mephisto this game, it's all that one ban. But it looks like they do.
Yep. I mean, after these last few games, how can you not?
For the record,
I
I think that this is either the second or third time Arrogant Nephalem have ever played ETC. And I'm
really
also seeing the fact that this is on Dragonshire, which is where they experienced the power of Deathmosh for the first time.
It's a Zeratul!
Zeratul? Okay.
This is not what I was expecting.
Same, but I can kind of see a solid argument for it because Mal'Ganis can just sleep into like a VP and then sleep everybody as soon as the VP's up. Everyone gets rooted and everybody gets silenced and everybody gets dead. The Rexar I can definitely see an argument for, and the chat has been cheering for so far.
I mean, he just automatically wins the outlane. And
Yeah.
he can struggle to double soak as well as Malthael. He's still double soaked. And double soak's just fine. It's just that Malthael does it best.
Yeah.
And the big issue I see here for Please Clap is that they have Sylvanas with Zeratul, which means that they have a lot of they have a lot of late game zero tool. He wants that 16-20 spike. And Sylvanas on this map in particular is pretty early game unless she goes full into the W build, and then she's incredibly unsafe into ETC.
Yep.
There's no way for her to step up onto ETC Vala here.
Yep.
With
we'll have to see.
Using that.
So which team do you want to introduce?
Who did I have last time? Please clap.
I think it was Nephalem. But
I had Nephalem last time?
I think. So in that case, I will start. So we have, for our left team, we have Dekilidin on Vala, Kime on Malthael, Tribe on the Mephisto, and Sagati on ETC. That is Arrogant Nephalem.
And for Please Clap, we have Lothair on Sylvanas, Lazy Hydra on Rexar, Golden on Zeratul, Losando on Malacanis, and Wolf on the Mount Furia. And a little bit of joking going out there in the chat, saying to take the player. That I know that was a bit of a contention in y'all's game against Arrogant for that flare pick.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Does look like we have a multi-shot build, or an AA build, probably multi-shot, coming out from the Vala, which I honestly was expecting more of a single target focus out from her with the Mephisto for AoE damage. But I guess they're just trying to overpower the AoE healing.
I mean, I'd say focus on your strengths, and the strength is the AoE damage. Plus, multi-shot's just so much better than any of the other builds. It's safer, it's got higher burst, you just go on and on with how good.
Now, one thing I do want to quickly mention, before the inevitable fight breaks out, thank you, Ektar, for running the poll, which apparently 3 out of 3 people want Please Clap to win this for more games.
Yeah! I'm right there with you guys.
Lots of aggression coming out here from both teams. It does look like Mal'Ganis is going to be the first to fall. Trabe almost fell there, but was able to stay alive with some clever use of Anduin's abilities. Now hitting 4, Sylvanas gets to empower all of these Merc camps on the map, which is definitely nothing to scoff at. This is going to be a lot of extra damage anytime that she is pushing with a Merc camp.
Right, and because there are so many Merc camps in bottom lane, that is a lot of very tanky, very strong work.
For sure.
Okay, Sylvanas did go Q build. So this is like I agree that you can't really go W build into this team, but also you have an early game strength of the Sylvanas build and a late game hero in Zero.
Yeah, it's gonna make it definitely an awkward playstyle, as they really don't have an ideal time to force fights. Now we do see the heal denial route coming out, almost leading to Dekilidin's demise, but they were able to generate enough damage to scare off the enemies. Now this, one thing worth noting, this Dragon Knight has been available for the left team for quite a while, and they're only just now channeling the first Dragon Knight of the game, which I find interesting.
I mean, it's only 3 minutes into the game. It's a pretty good Dragon Knight, I'd say, for all things considered.
Now, I do like this call. They're primarily using the Dragon Knight for soaking and distraction, as they're picking up this Bruiser camp, which should have been able to be sniffed out on the map by Please Clap, but it's very difficult to pay attention to that tiny little spot and notice whether or not the camp disappeared or not. But this should secure a bottom fort for them pretty much no contest. Meanwhile, the Dragon Knight is just wandering around.
And This is like I said, kind of the issue here with the comp is that you have Sylvanas, who this build excels with the early game, but Zeratul just has no follow-up right now.
And this is definitely the left team is pushing this advantage. They seem to recognize it too, and just want to cause as much havoc and as much damage as possible until Zeratul is online, and before the potential double silence from the right team. And getting a fort this early, and getting 10 advantage, because they're going to be having 10s soon, this is going to be a very uncomfortable position for Please Clap for probably a good minute and a half. And that's long enough for Arrogant Nephalem to push a very unfavorable team fight onto Please Clap.
And right now, it looks like they're grabbing that early siege camp, or early siege camp. I said early because I'm like looking at the fact that they have all 3 bottom camps blue.
Yep, they're painting the world blue. Now, I do also like this call. I have liked a number of their calls so far this game. With all this pressure bot lane, and with a 10 advantage, they're saying, okay, give us this fort, you can't do crap about it.
Right.
And even with a lucky fight, getting them off of that mid fort, that camp bot lane is still pushing up. They're still able to push back on this, and they can re-engage for free, as evidenced by the fact that they're doing exactly that right now.
Right. This is kind of a Sophie's choice here for Please Clap. Like, do you defend bot? Do you defend mid? Although I would say, you kind of let bot push out and then defend it after it's a little safer. But you can't defend mid into that team's level 10s.
Yeah,
that level 10 spike is so huge.
Yeah, I honestly don't think there's a right call there, aside from just making sure nobody dies, which they successfully did.
You got that right.
Brute does go out onto the Vala. Big silence coming out. Vala a little below 25%, but does manage to get out, especially with the block party from the ETC. That is something else worth quickly mentioning. ETC did go block party. Pretty much all of the, at least early game damage from the right team, aside from the Q, is physical. Now VP does go out, followed immediately by a root. ETC is not in the best position, but definitely not in the worst. Light Bomb didn't get any value though. Hopefully he has a Q to get himself out.
Oh, no.
He does not, and ETC does fall. But there is no channel available mid, and plenty of time for Arrogant Nephalem to stall out and wait for their ETC. And yet again, another call that I really liked. They're going immediately for this Bruiser. They have one dead, they can't fight anything, they can't do anything aside from camps, and they're picking up this Bruiser to help increase the pressure top lane, and just kind of get as much value out of not having a man as they can.
Right. And top lane is pretty much the only plane that they haven't just completely dominated.
Yeah.
Right now, but yeah, if Please Clap can stall this game out.
Big mosh coming out.
Oh, huge mosh!
Immediately followed up by another stun, last rites, and a root, and that's half the enemy team going down, if you include Misha, which I do, and Rexar following almost immediately after. That is just not a fun position for the right team, as it guarantees a 9-minute Dragon Knight for the left team. I'm curious whether they push bot or mid with this. I'm guessing that they push bot, maybe have Vala poke these mercs. And they do! To try and increase the pressure.
Yeah. You almost always push bot, because that's the victory condition lane.
Yeah.
But, I'm just fingers crossed here for Please Clap.
They've got a lot of ground to make up here. Looks like they're going to lose top 4. It's at least going to be close, and they're definitely losing bot keep. And all it takes at this point in the game is 2 kills, and that's a core.
Yeah, and they're all super bunched up right now.
Yeah, as evidenced by the fact that Mephisto is just eating the entire enemy team. And there goes the Misha Bear. Luckily, Rexar is not a Misha-focused build, otherwise there wouldn't be much of a... he basically would be a dead hero at this point. And again, another call I really like. They didn't get the kill they want, so they instead try and break down a keep wall to just try and increase the pressure that needs to be dealt with. There's just so many calls that they've been playing that I absolutely love so far, and I can only count on a single hand the number of serious mistakes I've seen with basically no punishment. If they can keep this rhythm going, there's no hope for Please Clap, as evidenced by the fact that they almost have a 3-level lead against them.
Right. This is quickly spiraling out of control. 16s are online for Arrogant Nephalem, and they're showing no signs of slowing down.
For sure.
I have somehow lost vision of Please Clap.
Oh, you must have clicked someone for
yeah,
drafting.
I got it back.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
And
I must have clicked on somebody in Arrogant Nephalem.
First call I disagree with, except for the fact that they have a double camp, which makes it questionable, is them already going for a core play. Granted, they have 16s and they have the spell armor, but they desperately need a kill before they go into a core.
And they're backing out.
Yeah.
I think that's the right call there.
Yep.
Just that massive clear from Shadonis.
And it does look like they're going to secure at least a keep wall with their 16s. Unless something... Nope. Yep, I calculated right.
Alright,
it's
so we're almost at the point where Zero Tool comes online. With Rending, with Cleave.
But the question is it too late? And I can't answer that question. I have no idea.
The other question is, can he get to their backline?
Very true. Vala has a lot of mobility. They have a lot of aggression. And even if he can get to the back line, can he deal enough damage? Because if he goes out on Anduin will just Blessed Recovery through whatever he does, basically. And he can burst heal himself because he now has Inner Focus. This is not a fun position to be in if you're a Zeratul. You don't really have anyone to go in because Trabe can just join the front line if he's being dove on. If Null Pointer you can't kill, it's really difficult to dive in Anduin. Dekilladin can just vault away. There's any number of things that they can do. And if ETC gets one solid mosh, then
16s are out here. Root on the and stun follow up. Not
VP almost saves the Sylvanas. I think it was there to save the Sylvanas, but she didn't back into it. But yeah.
True. Well, I don't think she was rooted there.
Oh, was she? I missed that part.
Yeah,
and
she was rooted by the Anduin.
Okay.
She couldn't. Yeah, unfortunately, with Sylvanas dead too, there's no follow up for the Void Prism. Like with this build, there's not. They didn't have a ton of follow up for Void Prism. I would just gone Shadow or what's it? Shadow Assault, whatever the other one is. Might have the Nerzi.
Yeah. Yeah, with them pushing on a mid-keep, this is a 14-minute Dragon Knight. But with all this pressure coming out, they're guaranteed at least one keep, if not two, and if not core. They need a kill here in order to end.
Punched up.
Root does get missed. Counter synergy. Root does try and decrease Kime's healing. He really can't go in at this point. Does look like Misha Bear is going to fall. Trabe just being a massive damage pull inside the enemy team. Mosh Pit with a light bomb on top of it. Triple stun. Does secure a double kill. Kime very low. Trabe kind of low. But everybody else pretty high at this point. I think
Unless
they
the
might have
Luke
enough
is
damage to
right.
at least get 50% core, if not gain.
Okay.
Big stun
Yes.
coming out from the Vala. Void Person
Oh!
trying to stall out the core, but a kill on the Rexar does mean that that's likely going to be game, and so it is.
Wow. Very impressive by both teams. It pretty much played how I thought it would. It's just so hard for a Zeratul comp to survive until the point where he becomes relevant.
Yeah, and they really didn't. They weren't able to. So I'm gonna see if I can get ours in interview very quickly.
Alright.
Yeah, that was a really solid series.
Yes, it went down. What was it? It was 3-1 at the end?
Yep.
Yeah, it was 3-1. That first game was won in pretty convincing fashion by Please Clap. Right.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a relative stomp, and then all of a sudden the reverse sweep from Arrogant Nephalem really showed me. So I'm not seeing any replies in game.
Let me check.
So I'm gonna. Oh,
Look,
I think I was tagged in
let me
the
send
NGS.
trade. What channel would you want
Oh, cool.
to come down into?
Let's hop into lobby 1. Hello!
Hello.
How is it going?
It's going pretty good. I gotta say, we're feeling pretty solid. So it started a little shaky, but managed to pull it together there at the end.
Yeah, for sure.
Congratulations, Trade.
Yeah, thank you.
So I'm curious, what do you think turned the game from a stomp into a reverse sweep? Was there something specific that changed in comms or your draft? What do you think changed it from a 3-0 to a 3-1?
I think we drafted good heroes that work together instead of a bunch of random heroes that are like, they're decent. Maybe we can win with this, I don't know, and have no synergy whatsoever. That's how I felt from my side, at least.
Fair. Very fair. I am kind of curious, the Towers of Doom game.
Yes.
You definitely went there due to the fact that you guys excel on counting on your solo lane to do stuff like double soaking and stuff like that. But there's a few times where at least I really thought Please Clap was going to steal it from you. I'm kind of curious if you felt the same, or if it was just okay, they got lucky here, let's pull it back together and just keep playing how we play type thing.
I wouldn't say they got lucky, because I mean, when we gave them opportunities, they just immediately took advantage of them and got kills. Like every time we screwed up, every time our comms weren't on point, they were there and ready to capitalize on that. So I don't know if lucky is the word I would use, but we definitely felt that we were not putting ourselves in the best position. It wasn't like, oh, we're just getting destroyed here, we have no chance. It's we're not quite on the same page. The ults aren't coming out at the right time. People are going in while other people aren't going in. And I think we felt pretty confident that even once we were down, if we could get on the same page and actually turn things around and start playing like a team instead of 5 random quick match people, that we probably had a good chance to turn it back.
Fair. I got a few more questions, but I'm going to hand it over to Munkus quick.
Alright, Trade. So, seems to me that as soon as you got online on that Mephisto, everything just started going right for your team. Tell me about like what caused you to switch over to Mephisto and why you went with them.
I like Mephisto a lot, man. I haven't been playing him for all that long. I kind of picked him up because I was getting... The first half of the season, I played almost entirely Jaina and Kael'thas, and I was starting to get banned out a lot, and it felt like we had to really prioritize those picks, and it was kind of messing up our drafts pretty bad. So I wanted a third option to get that would give us a little more flexibility and maybe pair a little bit well if we end up going more divey. And I've just kind of fallen in love with the guy. It feels like he's got really good damage, he's got really good wave clear, he fits with most of the comps that we like. And I think the first few games, we were sort of just trying to say, hey, let's go with what's worked in the season. Let's not necessarily prioritize this new guy we haven't played with as much, but he's good. He's just a good hero. So I think switching over ended up being the right call. When they've got those heavy tank front lines and those kind of squishier back lines that stay back a lot, it's hard to get good value on Jaina or Kael'thas if you don't have carry to pressure the front line. And Mephisto kind of gives you the tools you need to be a little more impactful in those situations.
Right. And you landed some absolutely clutch durances in every game pretty much, and were able to just output so much damage. I'm trying to think of what was the last map? Not Dragon Shider, but it was it Towers? Or
Towers was the one before that, I think, yeah, for game 3.
Okay. I believe. No. Was it Towers?
Towers was
there was one game. I'll just say this. There was one game where you did so much damage compared to everyone else on your team. Like, you were basically all of the team fight and the CC all wrapped up into one. It might have been BOE, where you like the. No, that was with KTC. And that was another thing I was talking about.
That was a whole nother can of worms.
Because that game, that KTZ pick was so clutch. How did y'all make that decision to go into there, and how confident were y'all in its success?
It's one of those heroes that we've kept as kind of a back pocket pick the whole season. I think we pulled it out once earlier in the playoffs and once or twice earlier in the season. Dak is it's really scary on a couple heroes, and you can't prioritize banning her stuff because her hero pool is so big that just if you waste all your bans on Dak, you're giving somebody else what you want. She just is able to say, hey, I'm going to watch every game. We can hold my pick a little late, and if it looks like a good time to pull out one of these weird picks, I'm just going to do it. And we've learned that if she feels confident about it, she knows the matchups better than we do. And she said, I want KTZ here. It feels right. I want to play it in the playoffs. And we said, all right, we'll right-click on people and try to stun people and hope that you can be a god. And it worked out. So good for her.
Right. Once she had all of her talents and had finished second Blight, it was just like I mentioned it during the game that like KTZ, if you're winning when KTZ is unstacked, then it's going to be a nightmare once he is fully stacked. Mm-hmm. And with Segatai setting up with the sleeps, making it easier to land, but she was even landing things that were crazy difficult and were like those sort of from downtown, shots from half court that she somehow landed, and with all that armor reduction, cooldown reduction, just basically, no offense to everybody else on your team, but y'all were basically just along for the ride at that point.
Yeah, at one point I just said, people are flying around and ice is going on and there's frost blasts. What do I do in these team fights? I think that's what's like, click on Johanna. I'm a deal with everything. You just click on Johanna. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna click on Johanna, and then when you want me to go click on the Immortal instead, let me know. I just did that, and it works out pretty well. Certainly makes my life very easy, so I'm fine with it.
Exterminator Rainer, he doesn't bring a lot to the team fights, but he was like critical in getting those Immortals. Like that first Immortal y'all barely got, and it was on the back of that Exterminator Rainer.
Yeah, but if we were able to get a pick on the Li Ming or the Hanzo, then it's just, I'm going to click on this guy, and you can either let us win the race because it's Exterminator Rainer, or you can try to step up into a bunch of stuns and a Kel'Thuzad and try your luck. It's not a good situation to be in at all.
And they tried very hard to adapt to that between sending 2 top and 3 bottom, and y'all kind of responded with that 4-man defense with Exterminator Rainer burning, and just got so many stacks.
They were really solid games. That one definitely sticks in my memory quite a bit. I did have 2 more questions, one of which comes from chat, one of which comes from me. Can you think of any specific moment that you thought was either like the most impactful moment or just most memorable moment about this series?
That's a good question. I would say the one that sticks out the most for me is the team fight on towers, where it was like we had 4 points left and the things were 4-4 and we had to defend 2 shrines at once, and if they get either one, that's game. And we were just able to see that, hey, we've got good push, we can go snipe this real quick and get them down to 3, and then we can take a team fight and just run at them and manage to get 3 picks, and that was a really frustrating game, and I feel like if you lose 2 frustrating games and you're down 2-1, it's kind of tough mentally to claw back into that.
Yep.
So even that one little 15-second stretch, turning us from, hey, we can still win this game, we can still absolutely win this series, that's definitely a big motivator.
Okay. And the other question comes from chat, which is, when are you guys getting team jerseys?
Is this chat from Tequila? Who asked this question?
NMMIGS.
Oh, okay, yeah, or Meg, yep. I promised my team jerseys a year and 3 months ago. So I would say give me a little more time to, weigh the options and kind of check out the choices. I've been doing some comparison. I like to do very thorough shopping. So it's been a year, 3 months. Give me maybe another 6 months, 9 months, and I should be able to get something figured out by then. That'd be my guess.
Gotcha. Makes sense. So that's it for me. Unless you have anything else that you want to ask or state, I can take things out to shoutouts.
Yeah. Okay. So in the Towers game, y'all kind of gave up 8 points pretty early on. I was really worried that was gonna end up costing y'all something big, and it got very close. What happened in comms there? Why did y'all what was going on? Where you gave up those towers like that?
If I remember correctly, we were sort of positioning around the bot tower to defend, and then Leoric was there, and we were like, that's not supposed to happen, and Kime was like, wait, what? And then they got 8 tower points. I don't think there was a master plan or anything more to it than that. It was just kind of one of those, oh, whoops, right top, oh, whoops, right kind of moments that happen sometimes. Luckily, we were able to not get too tilted. There were some words exchanged, and we moved on. Say that.
Nice. There's that. On bans, I know that y'all kind of struggled on doing the research for Please Clap. You were kind of struggling on what to ban against them, and I don't remember what you banned in game 1, but I know you didn't ban Yrel, and I know that after that you pretty much almost always banned Rainer and Yrel in pretty much every game. What was the decision-making process that went into that? What was it about Yrel that made you decide, no, that's the problem we need to deal with?
They're a really flexible team, so we didn't feel like there were any specific target bans that will absolutely ruin them if we ban this. Their healer plays a lot of things. They've got an offlaner that can flex around, a flex player that'll play any hero under the sun. And so we never, even the first game, we didn't really feel too strongly. We're just like, let's just kind of ban some stuff and see if we lose. Let's see what we lose to. And at least there were a lot of things wrong with game 1, But it definitely felt like the URL was, for me, the biggest problem, because I want to go with the fights, and now there's a URL, and now I'm standing here watching my team die, trying to throw living bombs on people. And I'm the captain, so I get to ban the URL if I don't say it again. And there was not a armed rebellion where my team insisted that I was wrong. I was like, I'm banning URL, and they're like, okay, whatever.
Well, very nicely done. And I think that's it for me.
Alright, so yeah, if there's anything that you want to add before shoutouts, go ahead. Otherwise, the floor is yours.
Yeah, shoutouts to Penguin and Mig, who are subs this season, who got us a couple clutch wins in some places where we might have had some scheduling difficulties otherwise. Always very helpful as a captain to have people that can jump in and flex around on rolls. Shoutouts to Beast Coast, who had a heck of a season this time up in Div A, played some really fun games that were certainly enjoyable to watch, if nothing else. And yeah, shout out to NGS. This is our 5th season. We've had a really good time overall. Pretty satisfied with how this season went. Hopefully we can carry that momentum into next season and keep the wins running.
Alright, well, congratulations once again for being the champions of Div C and gaining all of the bragging rights, and as far as I'm aware, nothing else.
Oh, no. They get an emote.
Oh, cool.
We do get an emote. I forgot about
emotes. That. Yeah, the winners get their icon as an emote in NGS.
Well, then, congratulations on earning yourself an emote, and yeah.
Look forward to Kime spamming that in chat all over the place for the next 2 months. It's gonna be good.
So yeah, we'll see you next season.
Yeah, thank you so much for casting.
You're very welcome. See you around. So I think that's everything. I have nothing else that I need to take care of aside from just kind of wrapping up the stream. I don't know if you have anything that you want to add, but now would be the opportunity to plug your Twitch channel and Twitter and all that stuff.
My Twitch, I believe, is Twitch Munkus Beaver. I do believe. I just wanted to give a couple shout-outs to Area Nephalem, our sister team, to Hydra and all the other people on Please Clap. Y'all played a great series.
Mm-hmm.
I had a lot of fun playing with y'all guys when I do. And a shout out to Beast Coast, my team, especially Megamuffin, my co-captain. He's been a huge help this season. And yeah, that's it for me.
All right. Then thank you all for joining me. I have been Shadonis. You can find me and additional casts at twitch.tv/DNL_Shadonis. I have a YouTube channel which is just Shadonis. It doesn't have a fancy link because I'm not special enough for a fancy link. Yeah, again, thank you all for joining me, and thank you all for supporting NGS, and thank you NGS for giving me the opportunity to cast on their YouTube channel. It feels absolutely wonderful to get to cast a grand final on their channel. And if you want to support NGS in the future, they do have a Patreon, which, if I recall, is underneath the stream that's currently going on. And yeah, I would encourage you to support them as they are awesome. Yeah. I'll see you all next time. See ya.